Hello and welcome to the Flory Models Friday catch-up show. Here we are with you on the 7th of July 2023. Really busy week, great week. Managed to push on, as you can see down in here, with the actual Beaufort. Again, I think it's just a wonderful kit. It's a really, really nice kit. It's quite clever the way it goes together. It's not overcomplicated. My biggest point was putting it together, to be honest, with the gear. That's a little bit fiddly because it's multi-part. It's quite fiddly and gangly, as is probably the ones from this design. But generally, though, the fit, quality, and the actual going together was no problem at all. And then obviously with this one, we went completely overboard with all the weathering to do something a little bit different. So we did hairspray chipping techniques. We gave this thing filters. We did everything I normally don't do, to be honest with you. I tend to do it other ways, but you know me, I like to show different ways of doing it. So we used acrylics underneath, we used lacquers on top. It's a really good build all the way through. But anyway, it's finished off. Part 12 is up with you now, and obviously part 13 to be for the final reveal will be up with you on Monday. Originally, I was going to put it into one, but it would have been an hour and 50 minutes. So that was a little bit heavy for doing a last part. So we've just broken it up into two parts. So coming along with that one. At the same time, obviously we're working on Blue Thunder. We're talking about that in a moment. And I've started tentative work on my next build as well, which is the Giant Harrier 24th scale, the FRS one from Airfix as well. So yes, been a busy old week. Anyway, it all started actually on Saturday. So on Saturday, you can see we had a live show. So it was me, Nathan, and Matt going right the way through. Nathan did an absolute blinder, to be honest with you. He was on fire going through his one. I was working on Blue Thunder. You can see Matt was working on his P40, and Nathan down there was working on his Spitfire, which he managed to build in, well, technically under 6 hours, I think it was in total, right the way through. It's still out there. You can watch this one and go back and see it. As I say, I was working on Blue Thunder, the old monogram kit. Really, really nice. Matt was doing his, and Nathan was busy beavering away on that one as well. We had a big sale over the weekend as well. So thank you for all your orders and support as well by buying merchandise and things like that as well. So it was very much worth it. It didn't stop there as well, because we were back on in the afternoon as well. So we went right the way through. I know it was the lastminute.com, but at the end of the day, we were having so much fun, we decided to carry on in the afternoon. Here we go. So we had the afternoon show as well, and we were carrying on. Matt's there doing a little bit of decaling. I did a bit of painting work and really getting Blue Thunder all together. And technically, by the end of the show, we really had it going. Matt was doing some figure painting. So it's a full-on build weekend. Again, great for watching again or just a recap and everything else. So there's a good couple of, 3 hours of footage up there now from that. So if you want to catch up with that one, you can do. Just pop obviously onto social media or obviously onto our YouTube page, or as always, you can get it directly off the Flory Models page. But a big thank you to everybody who joined us for the Saturday show. So we did a morning one and an afternoon right down in there. Then back to normal work on Monday. So we had part 11 of the Beaufort went up. As you can see, we were talking about weathering on the underside this time using different techniques. So again, I've used probably about 10 different techniques to do the same thing, but I wanted to show all the different ways of using oil. So on the underside here, we pre-wetted the entire area with enamel thinners. Then we put oils on top of it so they leach out and bleach in, as you can see on the picture dash down in there. So we did the underside like that, going right the way through from the start into all of these, and then giving them washes and filters as well right the way over. Then we went in with a little bit of dry brushing on the top, so it's neat oils for post shading work right the way through, and then we were finishing off the engine works and getting them installed and mounted onto those as well right the way through. So anyway, that gets you bang up to date on there. For the actual part 11 on the Beaufort members, you can go off and see that one right now. Tuesday afternoon, we were back at it again. So just it's me and Matt on this one. So don't take any notes of the Saturday show, it's because I didn't change it. But Matt obviously was showing off the giant FW190 by Airfix in 1/24 scale that he's currently working on and trying to bash into submission with that one. And then obviously he was doing a lot of work using the new Flory Models Dust, which will be out within the next 2 weeks, I promise. So as you can see, that one is all going on down in there and he's showing you exactly how that all works. Again, using the different oils in conjunction with the washes. I carried on with Blue Thunder, as you can see. So we're working on this one. This is a free to watch show. Anybody can join in. Obviously, we have the YouTube chat on as well. So if you've got any questions for us, you don't have to be a member. Obviously, you've got your normal getting way through onto this one as well. So again, there's me fighting with the glue, trying to get it out. And there's Matt working on his one down in there and right the way through until we pretty much had it all together at the end of it. Again, if you want to catch up with that one, it's around about an hour and a half. You can do so, obviously, social media, and it's on YouTube. It is a free to watch as well. Then it's back to business with the PM store on Wednesday. So we're on for this one, talking about the latest kit releases, of which there's very, very little. But we were answering all your questions and generally having a chat all the way through. Again, those shows tend to be around about an hour, even though we say they're going to be a 20-minute show. But if you do want to catch up with those ones as well, you can do. Again, they are free to watch on the usual places. That brings us up to last night. Obviously, I was showcasing me finishing off the actual Beaufort. On here. This is a members only show. Members, you can go off and you can see that one now. We're obviously answering your questions. We were talking about kit complexity and is it actually worth it? And obviously the failings of some manufacturers to be able to make, why build it in 2 parts when you can make it out of 25? And questions like that. And again, doing your questions and having a good old chat. This is a members only one. And obviously we had the members chat room open as well on there. And then obviously bring you bang up to date to part 12 today. So obviously going right the way through, we started to unmask. As I say, there's that gear. It's a little bit fiddly, as you can see. It's, multiple parts make up. To be honest, once it's together, it's not too bad. Then we're unmasking. So we're unmasking everywhere. You can see the lights all being unmasked there. We've got the canopies all unmasked. Really happy with that. That was no problem at all. Then we painted the gear. Then we went through the motions of having to pin it because unfortunately, it's not quite the right size. I think the wheels, these are the Edard aftermarket ones, with the nice flat spots with the smooth tread, I think they're tiny, a little bit undersized, if I'm honest. Anyway, quick way around this was to actually drill them out and pin them. So we actually made up a new pin all the way through, and we put the wheels onto it just like that, and then had no problems. And once they're seated in there, they're absolutely fine. But again, really nice to get a little bit of weighted wheels on there, as you can see. So that was pretty good. Getting those all into position, so securing those fully, and then the last bit's going on there. So we've got all the flaps and bits and pieces going on there just like that. Anyway, you can see that one. That is up with you. It's part 12. And here she is. So here she is down in here, all done now. We've done the torpedo for it. We've got all the aerials onto it. And to be honest, these aerials are an accident waiting to happen. It almost means you can't pick this model up because it is incredibly difficult to handle. But you can see we've got the undersides done now. We're looking pretty much all there now. So again, I've completed it. I've got to do the final reveal photos and stuff like that. I've done a few little ones as well, but a nice little touch as well is this. We've got the little torpedo on the dolly as well. So at some point I am going to be going back. I'm going to do a little diorama for this one, showing it in the desert and all the rest of it with a few crew around it with a torpedo under it as well. But that is like a little mini model all on its own. It's a great kit. And again, thoroughly enjoyed it with this one. It's been one of those ones. It's a little bit more longer than I wanted. Normally I try and keep them down to, as you know, around about 8 parts. This one's a lot more in depth because I've showed you different techniques to basically achieve the same thing. But the nice thing about it is what works for me might not work for you, and it works for somebody else, so forth and so on. So what I've tried to show is different ways of really getting the same type of effects onto this one. So the underside's done completely different to the top and things like that. And again, a couple of firsts that we haven't done for a long time. Hairspray chipping. I can't remember the last time I've used it in anger. I've done some demo pieces on containers and stuff, but not to actually use it full on. But again, we've used the hairspray technique because last time we used mask oil for when we were doing the digger. And obviously we have got proper chipping fluid as well, which we've used on previous builds. So it's just that thing about showing you different ways of going through with it. I think the chipping really works. I know a lot of people, especially when you probably first saw it, that you looked at it and thought, my God, it's like a shiny, sparkly thing with it all coming through. But I was acutely aware we've got all of this weathering to go on. And I counted up, there's actually 9 layers of weathering and paint on this. So obviously with each one, it knocks the previous ones down. So this big area down in here that looks incredibly bright, that's worn in really nice now, as the entire paint finish has, by having a filter over it, and then obviously with post lines being put in with neat oils. Then we've used wet oils, so forth and so on, and a good old get your finger into it and rubbing around and getting grime into it and stuff like that, so everything adheres to the clay wash down underneath. I have to say though, it is an absolutely fantastic kit. I know I go on about ICM. I really do like them. I think from a manufacturing point of view, they've got the balance just about right. As in, you can do it as a curbside model straight out of the box, no problem at all. But for a very limited amount of work, you can just do a little bit of an upgrade. So for this one, to be honest, we've got obviously the actual photo etch instrument panel in there, which looks very nice. So that's in there. And then we've got some photo etch harnesses, again, really nice as well. And the weighted wheels, excellent. And again, for me, and it was the only shortcoming with the kit, if we're honest, is the sizing issue with the mask. So on the instructions, it's actually got a template for making a mask set. Unfortunately, they're the wrong scale. Luckily for us, though, because obviously we use the Edard set, it came with a mask set. So a mast set for something like this is absolutely fine. But we basically stopped there. So a small little set just to upgrade it. But if you wanted to, you can obviously just go in with some harnesses and a mast set. I think really that's all this kit needs. But again, if you want to, you could super detail up the engines. You could super detail the cockpit. You could change out the guns and perhaps put some aftermarket ones in there, things like that. But generally, their kits just are at that level where you can do it as is, or you can then take it up a step, or you could super detail it. But they are perfectly designed for all three. So some manufacturers, it's a lot of work to upgrade it. Other ones, it's got all that detail in there, and you don't need all the aftermarket, but it makes it a lot of work. I just think ICM have a really good balance. And because they are, I wouldn't say simpler kits, but better design kits like this, it means they go together really easily and straightforward. The wing root joins and everything else, the way it goes through with the actual wing spars, are seamless. There's no filler anywhere on this kit properly. There's a few little jobs that I've done as well, just to make sure the seams are all perfect, and a few little ghost seams we took care of. But general issues, if you like, that needed filler, there is zero on this one. And kudos to this kit is the canopy, being careful, is a loose fit. It is such a good fit down into here that we don't actually have to worry about, obviously, any joins or big gaps around it, because when we pop the canopy on, it's absolutely seamless. And again, that's a really nice touch, and obviously the engineering is at a really high level, so that's really, really nice. So anyway, final part will be up with you. Obviously, it'll be over social media over the weekend and stuff like that, with final reveal photos once I get round to doing them. So, but again, thoroughly enjoyed that one. So that's cleared the way now for the giant lump, which has got a bit of it here. Give you an idea. We've gone down we've 3D printed our own seat for this. So we've got a 3D printed seat in 1/24 scale because no one makes it. But this is the old classic, which is technically the GR1, GR3 kit Harrier with an extra sprue, which turns it up to the FRS1 kit. It's currently not available. I'm hoping Airfix are going to re-release it at some point, because hopefully I'm going to do it justice. So admittedly, I was going to do it as an FA2 version, but because we can't actually find a aftermarket set for it to do that, and to be honest, I can't be bothered scratch building one, that we've decided to do it as an FRS1 sort of Falklands conflict, something else like that as well. So looking forward to that. I've made a start on it. We've got it all off the sprue now. We're looking at the various parts, and the next big thing, which you'll see next week, is getting the filler out, because what we're going to do is fill everything, and we're going to then rescribe and re-rivet the entire kit to hopefully give it a little bit more scale and a little bit of a nicer finish as well. It's a big project. It's not going to be shake and bake, so stick with me with this one. A lot of it I'll do off camera, because by the time I've shown you one way of doing it, I've got to do a huge kit as well as moving through. But I know lots of people have been asking about it, worried about I'm not going to do it and things like that. Well, there we go. We've started it. I said it would be our summer project, and here we are in the summer, and we're getting on with it just like that. Same time is this little lady, which is the Monogram Blue Thunder, which I have just here. Here we go. It's this particular kit, classic kit as well. And to be honest, it's gone together absolutely fantastic. It's a great kit. Typical Monogram. It all just fits. It goes together. I've taken my time and done a little bit of seam work and stuff like that, which really it didn't need. You could probably just sand it and get away with it. Okay, the cockpit's a little bit sparse, but this is part of our live build. Anybody can watch this one and join in with this one. So again, the next big challenge for this is going to be masking up all the clear parts. And then once that's done, we can get some primer onto it. And then we've got the biggest decision. What colour are we going to paint it? Because again, it's this thing. If you look at photos of the real thing that was used for the filming, that's a different colour to the actual colour it is showing in the film. Because obviously they've got nice filters and things like that to make it a bit more artistic. And then you look at other ones from the models that were used in the filming as well, the RC ones, and they're a different colour as well. So it's one of those of sort of take your pick. It goes from pretty much grey right the way up to royal blue. So at some point, we're going to have to make a decision on what colour we're going to do that one. But again, we've still got a little bit of work. We need to mask up all the framework on the front here, colour fast that. Then obviously it's all going to be done in red. I'm not sure if we're going to have the clear parts put on afterwards. They're not the best seam. If we like, there's a few little seams underneath. But again, we'll see how we go with this one. So stay tuned. Tuesdays, we'll be building this one, part of the live series on our free to watch area as well. So if you want to keep up with that one, you can do. It's actually a really nice kit. There's something about Monogram. I just absolutely love Monogram kits. They are just fantastic. Anyway, last up, obviously over to the PM store. As we said, we've revised all the sort of specials area in here. We did warn people last night it was going to change. And as you can see, it has, and got some great bargains down in here as well. So if you do want to get yourself a Chesterton, this is the main one, £42. Great discount on that. This is the Beaufort, slightly different version to mine. I think this is the European theatre one for the torpedo bomber. I've got technically the North African Egyptian one here. So it's just got a few little changes into it, which, to be honest, I think it's only going to be your filters are going to be the difference. So it's obviously got the trop filters on top of the engine. But that's an absolutely fantastic kit. And again, great price, just 30 quid. Highly recommend it. Another one, which is saving a good old chunk of cash on as well, is the Trumpeter's massive 132nd Superbug. This is the F, it's the two-seater. So again, I would highly recommend that over building, like I did, the Revell one. So anyway, and also we've got a few classics down in here. So we've got the Tamiya, we've got the Scout Car, the Dingo, only £12, absolute bargain. The Space Shuttles, this is obviously the Tamiya's 1 to 100 scale ones, really nice as well. And again, we've got some other goodies down here. So we've got Eduard's Bubble Tops. We've got one down there, just £25. And then again, we've got, this is the Hasegawa kit, I do believe, of the P-40N Warhawk, which is clearly the best looking aircraft ever. And obviously Gecko's down in there. We've got the Scimitar 2 with obviously the old cage armour right the way over it, as you can see. And then again, some really other good ones down here. So we've got border models, nose section off the Lancaster, just £95. And we've got the fantastic 72nd Strike Eagle, beautiful kit as well. And again, the big old Spitfire Trop for the VB version as well, 32nd scale, is say only £32. So again, have a look down at all of these ones. And again, some good prices down in there, as always. So this is going to get updated now every Friday with our new specials area. And again, once it's gone, as always, it's gone. So if you see something and you like it, you like the price, grab it quickly whilst you can. New arrivals, to be honest, incredibly still thin on the ground. We're waiting for so much at the moment, but we have got the Airfix Hunters in. We've got the Buccaneers in as well. This is the Gulf War one. We've got the Vampires, and the rest of it we've spoken about before. But again, some really nice kits down in there. So if you want to grab any of those ones, plus about anything from the actual PM store, don't forget, just pop over to pmmodelsuk.com. We've got all your paints, we've got all your tools, all your sundries, and all your other bits just down in there like that. All right, so all got you covered in all directions. And of course, don't forget, over on the Flory Model Store, we've got all your stuff as well. So we've got all your washes down in here. We've got your thick washes, got your thin washes, we've got your bottles, and obviously we've got your merch. Merch is actually going to be restocked any minute. We know we're out of aprons and a couple of the sizes of hoodies and things like that as well. So we'll get those sorted, and we will get them back in stock just absolutely as soon as we can. All right. So again, keep an eye out for those ones. And if you do want to grab any of those, you can do at any point as well. So yes, all good job. And that's about it for this week. Really looking forward to next week, because as I say, the Harry is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to come together quite quickly, because obviously once we get the internals for that engine done and all the rest of it, we're not going to see any, so we don't have to worry about painting it or anything else like that. So we can get that all together, and then obviously get the fuselage halves together. And again, the big thing for this is going to be all the filling, the sanding, the rescribing, the re-riveting, putting all the details back into it, I think in a little bit more of a scale way. So again, that's going to be a lot of fun to work on for our big project throughout the summer. So again, keep an eye out for that one. It will be up on social media as well, with little snippets of information and photos and all the usual bits. And that's about it for this week. So as always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you from the great work from you guys from the gallery. So until Monday, everybody, happy modelling. Take care.